Ladies and gentlemen, pay close attention, because what I am about to share with you is not just another list of traits or a collection of motivational words. This is a message for those who have always sensed that they are different, for those who have felt a quiet stirring deep within their soul, a sense that they are not here by accident. If you recognize even one of these signs in yourself, you are not just ordinary. You are not simply another face in the crowd, another name on a list, another person going through the motions of life. You have been set apart, marked by something greater, chosen for a purpose that is uniquely yours. Perhaps you have felt it your entire life, even if you could never quite put it into words. There is a certain way you move through the world, a way you never quite fit in, no matter how hard you tried. Maybe you have found yourself on the outside looking in, watching others form easy connections, blend seamlessly into groups, and follow the well-worn paths laid out before them. Yet for you, there has always been a sense of being different, of not belonging, of being called to something more. You have felt the weight of expectations pressing down on you, the pressure to conform, to shrink yourself, to silence your voice so that others might feel more comfortable. But no matter how many times you tried to blend in, to hide your light, something inside you refused to be dimmed. You have faced challenges that would have overwhelmed others. You have walked through storms that threatened to break you. Yet every time you were knocked down, you found a way to rise again. There is a resilience in you that cannot be explained by logic alone. It is as if every setback, every disappointment, every heartbreak was preparing you for something greater. You have endured criticism, rejection, and misunderstanding, yet you have never allowed those experiences to define you. Instead, you have used them as fuel, as stepping stones, as reminders that your journey is not meant to be easy, but it is meant to be meaningful. There is a strength in you that others may not see, a quiet determination that keeps you moving forward even when the path is unclear. You have learned to trust yourself, to listen to the whispers of your intuition, to follow the gentle nudges that guide you toward your destiny. You have discovered that your uniqueness is not a flaw, but a gift. The very things that set you apart are the things that make you powerful. You have come to understand that you were never meant to fit in because you were born to stand out. People have tried to bring you down, to make you doubt yourself, to convince you that you are too much, too different, too ambitious, too sensitive, too strong. They have projected their own fears and insecurities onto you, hoping that you would shrink to fit their limited vision. But every time they tried to box you in, you broke free. Every time they tried to silence your voice, you spoke louder. Every time they tried to make you question your worth, you remembered who you are. You have learned that the opinions of others do not define you. Your value is not determined by external validation, but by the truth that lives within you. You have walked through seasons of loneliness, times when it felt like no one understood you, when you questioned whether you were on the right path. You have faced moments of doubt, when the weight of your calling felt too heavy to carry, when the road ahead seemed impossibly long. Yet, even in those moments, you never gave up. Something inside you kept pushing you forward, kept reminding you that you are here for a reason. You have learned to find strength in solitude, to embrace the quiet moments when you can hear your own thoughts, when you can reconnect with your purpose. You have experienced the pain of outgrowing people, places, and situations that no longer serve you. You have had to make difficult choices to let go of relationships that drain your energy, to walk away from environments that stifle your growth. You have learned that not everyone is meant to go where you are going, and that is okay. You have become comfortable with being misunderstood, with being underestimated, with being the one who chooses a different path. You have realized that your journey is not about pleasing others, but about honoring the calling on your life. There is a fire in you that cannot be extinguished. It burns quietly, steadily, fueling your dreams, your ambitions, your desire to make a difference. You are not content with mediocrity, with settling for less than you deserve, with living a life that is anything less than extraordinary. You are driven by a sense of purpose that goes beyond personal gain, beyond recognition, beyond applause. You want to leave a mark on the world, to use your gifts and talents to uplift, to inspire, to create positive change. You have a vision for your life that others may not understand. You see possibilities where others see obstacles. You believe in miracles, in second chances, in the power of faith to move mountains. You are willing to take risks, to step out of your comfort zone, to pursue your dreams, even when the odds are stacked against you. You are not afraid of failure because you know that every setback is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to become stronger. You have learned to trust the process, to be patient with yourself, to celebrate your progress, no matter how small. You have a deep sense of empathy, a compassion for others that sets you apart. You feel things deeply, sometimes more than you would like. You are moved by the struggles of others, by the pain and suffering you see in the world. You want to help, to heal, to make a difference. You are not content to stand by and watch injustice, cruelty, or indifference. You are willing to speak up, to take action, to be a voice for those who cannot speak for themselves. Your heart is open, your spirit is generous, your love is unconditional. You have a wisdom that belies your years, an understanding that comes from having walked through fire and emerged stronger. You have learned to see beyond the surface, to look for the deeper meaning in every experience. You are not easily swayed by appearances, by trends, by the opinions of the crowd. You trust your own judgment, your own instincts, your own inner guidance. You are willing to stand alone if necessary, to hold fast to your beliefs, to defend your values, even when it is unpopular. You have a sense of destiny, a knowing that you are here for something greater than yourself. You may not always know exactly what that is, but you feel it in your bones, in your soul, in the quiet moments when you are alone with your thoughts. You are willing to do the work, to make the sacrifices, to stay the course, even when the journey is long and the rewards are not immediate. You are committed to becoming the best version of yourself, to living a life of integrity, authenticity, and purpose. You have learned to embrace your flaws, to accept your imperfections, to love yourself as you are. You know that you are a work in progress, that growth is a lifelong journey, that every day is an opportunity to become more of who you are meant to be. You are not afraid to face your shadows, to confront your fears, to heal your wounds. You are willing to do the inner work, to seek out the lessons in every experience, to use your pain as a catalyst for transformation. You have a light that shines from within, a radiance that cannot be hidden. People are drawn to you, even if they cannot explain why. They sense your strength, your resilience, your authenticity. They are inspired by your courage, your determination, your unwavering faith. You may not always see it in yourself, but others see it in you. You are a beacon of hope, a source of encouragement, a reminder that it is possible to rise above circumstances and create a life of meaning and purpose. You have a story that is uniquely yours, a journey that has shaped you into the person you are today. Every trial, every triumph, every tear, and every smile has contributed to the tapestry of your life. You have learned to honor your journey, to celebrate your victories, to find gratitude even in the midst of struggle. You know that your story is not over, that the best is yet to come, that you are still becoming all that you are meant to be. You are not here by accident. You are not just another face in the crowd. You are chosen. You are set apart. You are destined for greatness. If you recognize even one of these signs in yourself, know that you are not alone. There are others like you, walking their own unique paths, facing their own challenges, carrying their own dreams. Together, you are part of something greater, something powerful, something extraordinary. She walks with intention, her every step guided by an inner compass that does not waver, even when the world around her is filled with uncertainty. There is a quiet power in the way she moves, a sense of purpose that radiates from her presence, making it clear that she is not here to drift aimlessly or to be swept along by the currents of other people's expectations. She is a woman who knows that her life is not a series of random events, but a journey with meaning, a path that is unfolding exactly as it should, even if she cannot always see the destination. She does not allow herself to be controlled by the shifting opinions of society, nor does she let the noise of the world drown out the voice within her that whispers of destiny and calling. From the moment she wakes, she is aware that her time is precious, her energy sacred. She does not waste her days waiting for things to happen or for someone else to give her permission to pursue her dreams. She takes ownership of her journey, understanding that every choice she makes, every challenge she faces, every twist and turn along the way is shaping her into the person she is meant to become. She is not content to live passively, hoping that life will deliver her purpose on a silver platter. Instead, she rises each day with a sense of mission, determined to create the life she envisions, even if the path ahead is shrouded in mist. She is not easily distracted by the fleeting trends that capture the attention of the masses. She does not chase after approval, applause, or validation from others because she knows that her worth is not defined by external recognition. She is guided by an inner calling, a deep sense of knowing that often sets her apart from those around her. While others may be content to follow the crowd, she listens to the quiet urgings of her soul, trusting that her steps are ordered, even when the way forward is unclear. She understands that her journey is unique, and she does not waste energy trying to fit into places or roles that do not align with her destiny. There is a discipline to the way she lives, a commitment to growth and self-mastery that is evident in her daily habits. She wakes with intention, setting goals for herself, mapping out her priorities, and refusing to let distractions steal her focus. She is not afraid of hard work, nor does she shy away from the sacrifices required to pursue her calling. She knows that purpose is not about waiting for the perfect moment, but about creating the moment through consistent action and unwavering belief. Even when exhaustion sets in, even when doubt whispers in her ear, she continues to move forward, fueled by the conviction that her journey is about more than just herself. She is not afraid to walk alone when necessary. While others may crave constant company or validation, she understands that solitude is often where clarity is found. She is comfortable in her own presence, using quiet moments to reflect, to listen, to reconnect with her vision. She does not fear being misunderstood or underestimated, because she knows that not everyone is meant to understand her journey. She is selective with her time, her energy, and her circle, choosing to surround herself with those who uplift, challenge, and inspire her. She values relationships, but she does not entertain connections that drain her spirit or pull her away from her purpose. She is willing to let go of comfort, familiarity, and even relationships when they no longer serve her growth. She understands that purpose requires sacrifice, and she does not resist the process of shedding what is no longer aligned with her calling. She embraces change, knowing that every decision she makes is shaping her into the woman she is destined to become. She does not complain about the journey, even when it is difficult. She faces challenges with resilience, viewing obstacles not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to strengthen her character, sharpen her wisdom, and refine her spirit. She does not see setbacks as failures, but as necessary detours that are guiding her towards something greater. She is not controlled by fear, nor does she allow self-doubt to paralyze her. She understands that fear is merely a distraction, a tool designed to keep her from stepping into her power. She does not wait for all the answers before taking action. Instead, she moves forward in faith, trusting that clarity will come with each step. She does not settle for less than she deserves, whether in her career, her relationships, or her personal growth. She knows her worth, and she does not lower her standards for anything or anyone. She would rather walk alone in purpose than be surrounded by people who do not align with her vision. She is not swayed by the opinions of others, nor does she allow criticism to derail her. She is anchored in her truth, confident in her direction, and unwavering in her commitment to her calling. She understands that her purpose is not just about her own fulfillment, but about the lives she is meant to impact. She carries the weight of responsibility with grace, knowing that her voice, her gifts, and her presence are all meant to serve a higher calling. She does not allow circumstances to dictate her mindset. She chooses faith over fear, strength over weakness, and perseverance over defeat. She does not break under pressure because she knows that pressure creates diamonds. She does not complain about the weight she carries because she understands it is preparing her for something far greater. She embraces challenges with open arms, knowing that they are molding her into the woman she is meant to become. She is not shaken by uncertainty, nor does she need all the answers to move forward. She trusts that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even when the path is not fully visible. She does not rush force or manipulate outcomes. She moves with patience, allowing life to take its course, knowing that what is meant for her will always find its way. She realizes that some things may not make sense in the moment, but with time, everything will align perfectly. She believes in the process and does not hurry, force, or panic. She moves forward with assurance, even when the entire path is not visible. She understands that faith is not about seeing, but about trusting, even in the absence of proof. She does not easily surrender or allow disappointment to turn into discouragement. She knows that every great story has moments of struggle, doubt, and hardship. However, she also believes that every great story ends in triumph for those who refuse to quit. She refuses to be defeated by circumstances, understanding that as long as she continues moving forward, she will reach the destination designed for her. Her faith does not rely on everything going as planned. She does not need perfection to believe she is on the right track. Even in the darkest times, she clings to hope, recognizing that every challenge carries a purpose, and even when she does not fully grasp it, she chooses to trust that everything is working in her favor. She does not allow temporary storms to make her forget that the sun will shine again. She is not discouraged by setbacks when doors close. She does not lose heart. She understands that rejection is often redirection, and she knows that when something does not work out, it is because something better awaits her. She does not waste energy dwelling on what has been lost. Instead, she focuses on what is ahead, moving forward with confidence, knowing that no opportunity meant for her will ever slip away. She is not easily disheartened by failure. She knows that every successful person has faced struggles, and she does not let mistakes define her. Instead, she learns from them, grows from them, and continues pushing forward. She refuses to let the fear of failure hold her back, understanding that true failure only happens when one gives up. As long as she keeps going, she is never truly defeated. She does not let fear dictate her choices, refusing to live a life controlled by worry or hesitation. She takes bold steps, even when uncertain of the outcome, trusting that things will unfold as they are meant to. She does not let anxiety rob her of joy or steal her opportunities. She moves with faith, knowing that the path will become clear as she progresses. She serves as an example to others. People observe her and see strength, resilience, and unwavering belief. They wonder how she keeps going when things become difficult, how she faces challenges with a steady heart and an unshaken spirit. What they may not realize is that she has endured the fire, yet it did not consume her. It refined her. She is not strong because life has been easy. She is strong because she has walked through storms and emerged even more resilient. She does not allow negativity to take root in her thoughts. She does not dwell on worst-case scenarios or let doubt cloud her vision. She protects her mind, focusing on possibilities rather than limitations. She understands that her mindset shapes her reality, so she chooses to believe in the best outcomes. She fills her mind with hope, strength, and confidence in what is yet to come. She is a woman who walks with intention, guided by purpose, and fueled by an unshakable belief that she is exactly where she is meant to be, doing exactly what she is meant to do. A woman chosen by a higher power does not crumble under pressure, no matter how intense the storm or how heavy the burden. She has learned, often through painful experience, that adversity is not a sign of weakness or failure, but a necessary part of her journey. She understands that life will test her, sometimes in ways she never expected, and that these tests are not meant to break her, but to reveal the strength that lies within. When challenges arise, she does not shrink back or allow herself to be defined by the difficulty she faces. Instead, she stands tall, meeting each obstacle with a spirit of resilience that is both quiet and unyielding. She knows that every hardship is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become more of who she is meant to be. She has walked through seasons of darkness, times when the world seemed to close in around her and hope felt like a distant memory. In those moments, she did not give in to despair. She allowed herself to feel the pain, to acknowledge the struggle, but she never let it consume her. She has learned to sit with her discomfort, to face her fears head on, and to trust that even the darkest night will eventually give way to dawn. She does not run from her problems or pretend they do not exist. Instead, she confronts them with courage, knowing that true strength is forged in the fire of adversity. When life knocks her down, she does not stay there. She has developed the ability to rise again and again, no matter how many times she falls. Each time she gets back up, she is a little stronger, a little wiser, a little more determined. She does not see setbacks as the end of her story, but as necessary detours that are guiding her towards something greater. She understands that failure is not a reflection of her worth, but a stepping stone on the path to success. She is not afraid to make mistakes because she knows that every mistake carries a lesson, and every lesson brings her closer to her purpose. She has learned to embrace difficulties, to see them not as punishments, but as opportunities for growth. She does not complain about the challenges she faces or wish for an easier path. Instead, she accepts that struggle is a part of life and that it is through struggle that she becomes the woman she is meant to be. She faces each test with a sense of purpose, knowing that every trial is preparing her for the next level of her journey. She does not allow herself to be overwhelmed by the magnitude of her challenges. Instead, she breaks them down into manageable pieces, tackling each one with patience and determination. She is not easily discouraged by the opinions of others. When people doubt her, criticize her, or try to undermine her confidence, she does not let their negativity take root in her mind. She knows that her worth is not determined by what others think of her, and she refuses to let their doubts become her own. She has learned to trust herself, to believe in her abilities, and to keep moving forward even when the world seems to be against her. She draws strength from within, relying on her faith, her intuition, and her unwavering belief that she is capable of overcoming anything that comes her way. She does not allow fear to control her decisions. She understands that fear is a natural part of life, but she refuses to let it dictate her actions. When she feels afraid, she acknowledges her fear, but does not let it stop her from pursuing her goals. She takes bold steps, even when the outcome is uncertain, trusting that she will find her way as she goes. She knows that courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act in spite of it. She is willing to take risks, to step outside her comfort zone, and to face the unknown with an open heart. She is not defined by her circumstances. No matter how difficult her situation may be, she refuses to let it shape her identity. She knows that she is more than her struggles, more than her failures, more than the challenges she faces. She holds on to her sense of self, her values, and her vision for the future, even when everything around her seems to be falling apart. She does not allow temporary setbacks to shake her belief in a brighter tomorrow. She keeps her eyes fixed on her goals, her heart anchored in hope, and her spirit rooted in faith. She has learned to find meaning in her pain. She does not see suffering as pointless or random, but as a necessary part of her growth. She looks for the lessons in every experience, asking herself what she can learn, how she can grow, and how she can use her struggles to help others. She is not afraid to be vulnerable, to share her story, and to let others see her scars. She knows that her wounds are not a source of shame, but a testament to her strength. She uses her experiences to inspire, to encourage, and to uplift those around her. She is resilient in the face of disappointment. When things do not go as planned, she does not give up or lose hope. She adapts, she adjusts, and she finds new ways to move forward. She is flexible, willing to change course when necessary, and open to new possibilities. She does not cling to what was or mourn what could have been. Instead, she focuses on what is and what can be. She trusts that everything happens for a reason, even if she cannot see it in the moment. She believes that every closed door is leading her to something better, and she is willing to wait for the right opportunities to come her way. She does not compare herself to others. She knows that her journey is unique, and she refuses to measure her progress against someone else's timeline. She celebrates her own victories, no matter how small, and she honors her own path, even when it looks different from those around her. She is not jealous of others' success, nor does she feel threatened by their achievements. Instead, she is inspired by their stories, using them as motivation to keep pushing forward on her own journey. She is patient with herself, understanding that growth takes time. She does not expect perfection, nor does she demand instant results. She is willing to put in the work, to persevere through setbacks, and to keep going even when progress is slow. She knows that every step forward, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. She is gentle with herself when she makes mistakes, offering herself the same compassion she would give to a friend. She does not dwell on her failures or beat herself up for her shortcomings. Instead, she learns from her experiences, forgives herself, and moves forward with renewed determination. She is grateful for the challenges she has faced, knowing that they have made her stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. She does not take her resilience for granted, nor does she forget the lessons she has learned along the way. She honors her journey, recognizing that every struggle has contributed to the woman she is today. She is proud of her scars, her battle wounds, and her hard-won wisdom. She knows that she is a survivor, a warrior, and a beacon of hope for others who are walking through their own storms. She is a source of strength for those around her. People look to her for guidance, for encouragement, and for inspiration. They see her resilience, her courage, and her unwavering faith, and they are reminded that it is possible to overcome even the greatest of challenges. She does not keep her strength to herself, but shares it freely, lifting others up and helping them find their own inner power. She is a light in the darkness, a steady presence in times of uncertainty, and a reminder that hope is never lost. She does not allow bitterness or resentment to take root in her heart. She forgives those who have hurt her, not because they deserve it, but because she knows that holding on to anger only weighs her down. She lets go of the past, releasing what no longer serves her, and makes room for new blessings to enter her life. She chooses to focus on the good, to find joy in the present, and to look forward to the future with hope and anticipation. She is not afraid to ask for help when she needs it. She knows that strength is not about doing everything alone, but about knowing when to lean on others. She surrounds herself with people who support, encourage, and uplift her, and she is not ashamed to admit when she is struggling. She is open to receiving love, guidance, and support, knowing that she is worthy of all the good things life has to offer. She is committed to her growth, her healing, and her evolution. She does not settle for a life of mediocrity or complacency. She is always striving to become the best version of herself, to reach new heights, and to fulfill her highest potential. She is relentless in her pursuit of purpose, refusing to let anything or anyone stand in her way. She knows that she is destined for greatness, and she is willing to do whatever it takes to achieve her dreams. She is a living testament to the power of resilience, the beauty of perseverance, and the strength of the human spirit. She is a woman who has faced adversity and emerged victorious, not because life has been easy, but because she has chosen to rise above her circumstances, to keep moving forward, and to never give up on herself or her dreams. She carries herself in a way that commands respect, not through force or intimidation, but through the quiet certainty of her presence. When she enters a room, people notice, not because she is the loudest or most flamboyant, but because there is an undeniable energy about her, a sense of self-assurance that radiates from within. She does not need to announce her worth or demand attention. Her very being speaks volumes before she utters a single word. There is a grace in the way she moves, a confidence in the way she holds her head high, shoulders back, and eyes forward. She is unapologetically herself, never shrinking to make others comfortable or downplaying her strengths to avoid intimidating those who are unsure of their own. She does not beg for respect, nor does she chase after the approval of others. She knows who she is, what she stands for, and what she will and will not accept. Her standards are not negotiable, and her boundaries are clear. She does not lower her expectations to fit in, nor does she compromise her dignity to be liked. She is not swayed by fleeting trends or the ever-changing opinions of the crowd. Instead, she is anchored in her values, guided by her principles, and unwavering in her commitment to living authentically. She understands that true respect is not something that can be demanded or coerced. It is something that is earned through integrity, consistency, and self-respect. Her energy alone sets the tone for how others interact with her. People quickly learn that she is not someone to be taken lightly or dismissed. She does not tolerate disrespect, whether it comes in the form of subtle slights, backhanded compliments, or outright rudeness. If someone crosses a line, she does not stay silent or pretend not to notice. She addresses the issue directly, calmly, and with unwavering resolve. She does not engage in unnecessary arguments or waste her time trying to convince others of her worth. If someone cannot see her value, she simply removes herself from their presence, knowing that her absence will speak louder than any words ever could. She is not afraid to walk away from situations, relationships, or environments that do not honor her presence. She understands that allowing disrespect once only invites it again, and she refuses to make excuses for those who cannot treat her with the dignity she deserves. She has learned that it is better to stand alone in her truth than to remain in spaces that require her to diminish herself. She is selective about who she allows into her life, choosing to surround herself with people who uplift, challenge, and inspire her. She values quality over quantity when it comes to relationships, knowing that her time and energy are precious resources that should not be wasted on those who do not appreciate them. She does not seek validation from the world. She does not rely on others to tell her who she is or what she is worth. She already knows. Her sense of self is rooted in something deeper than external recognition or praise. She does not chase people, beg for love, or seek approval. She stands firm in her truth, and people either respect it or remove themselves from her life. She is not afraid of solitude, understanding that being alone is far better than being surrounded by the wrong energy. She uses her time alone to reflect, recharge, and reconnect with her purpose. Her words carry weight not because she speaks often, but because she speaks with intention. She does not engage in meaningless gossip or participate in unnecessary drama. She chooses her words carefully, knowing that true power lies in knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. She does not waste her breath on arguments that do not serve her or on people who are committed to misunderstanding her. She is discerning about where she invests her energy, focusing on conversations and connections that are meaningful, uplifting, and aligned with her values. She does not react impulsively to negativity. Instead, she responds with wisdom, patience, and self-control. She understands that not every battle is worth fighting, and that sometimes the most powerful response is silence. She does not allow others to pull her into their chaos or to dictate her emotional state. She maintains her composure, even in the face of provocation, knowing that her peace is too valuable to be disturbed by the opinions or actions of others. This level of self-mastery only increases the respect people have for her, as they see that she cannot be easily shaken or manipulated. She does not entertain disrespect disguised as jokes or tolerate those who try to undermine her with subtle digs. Some will test her boundaries, pushing to see what they can get away with, but she is not naive. She recognizes when someone is trying to diminish her, even if they laugh while doing it. She does not laugh along to keep the peace or allow herself to be the butt of someone else's joke. She addresses the behavior directly or distances herself from those who do not honor her presence. She understands that what she allows will continue, and she refuses to allow anything that diminishes her worth. Her strength can be intimidating to those who cannot control her. Some may try to label her as too much, too confident, too independent, or too self-assured. She does not shrink to fit their limited perceptions or apologize for the space she occupies. She refuses to let the opinions of others define her. She does not seek revenge or try to make people realize their mistakes. Instead, she lets her absence speak for itself. When someone disrespects her, she does not argue or plead for an apology. She simply removes herself, and when she leaves, her absence is felt. People soon realized that she was a woman of value, and losing her was their loss, not hers. She attracts respect because she embodies it. She does not beg for kindness, loyalty, or love. She naturally draws these things to her because she carries them within herself. She leads by example, showing others how to treat her by the way she treats herself. She invests in people who invest in her, but she does not chase relationships that require her to prove her worth. She is generous with her love, her support, and her encouragement, but she is not afraid to withdraw these gifts from those who do not appreciate them. She is clear about her boundaries and enforces them without guilt or apology. She knows that boundaries are not walls meant to keep people out, but guidelines that protect her peace, her energy, and her well-being. She communicates her needs openly and expects them to be respected. If someone cannot honor her boundaries, she does not try to change them or make excuses for their behavior. She simply moves on, trusting that those who are meant to be in her life will respect her limits and value her presence. She does not allow herself to be used, manipulated, or taken for granted. She recognizes her own value and refuses to settle for less than she deserves. She is not afraid to say no, to walk away, or to start over if necessary. She trusts herself to make the right decisions, even when they are difficult or unpopular. She is not swayed by guilt, pressure, or the fear of being alone. She knows that her happiness and fulfillment are her own responsibility, and she does not place them in the hands of others. She is not interested in superficial connections or relationships built on convenience. She seeks depth, authenticity, and mutual respect. She is willing to wait for the right people to come into her life, rather than settling for those who do not align with her values. She is patient, knowing that true connection cannot be rushed or forced. She is open to love, friendship, and partnership, but only with those who see her for who she truly is and honor her accordingly. She does not engage in power struggles or compete for attention. She is secure in herself and does not need to prove her worth to anyone. She celebrates the success of others and is generous with her praise, knowing that another person's light does not diminish her own. She is confident in her abilities, her gifts, and her unique contributions to the world. She does not compare herself to others or measure her value by external standards. She is content with who she is and where she is on her journey. She is a woman who commands respect not by demanding it, but by embodying it in every aspect of her life. She is a living example of what it means to honor oneself, to set clear boundaries, and to refuse to settle for anything less than what she deserves. She inspires others to do the same, encouraging them to stand tall, speak their truth, and never compromise their worth. She is a force to be reckoned with, a presence that cannot be ignored, and a reminder that true respect begins from within. She knows that when she fully respects herself, she will naturally attract those who see and appreciate her for who she is. She is unshakable, unstoppable, and undeniably chosen, destined for greatness, and unwavering in her commitment to living a life of dignity, purpose, and self-respect. She carries an aura of wisdom that sets her apart from the moment she enters a space, a quiet depth that is felt more than seen. This wisdom is not simply the result of accumulated knowledge or formal education, but something much deeper, forged through experience, reflection, and a willingness to learn from every season of life. She has learned to see beyond the surface, to look past fleeting emotions and temporary circumstances, and to discern the truth that lies beneath. Her understanding is not easily shaken by the chaos of the world or the opinions of others, because she has cultivated a clarity that allows her to navigate life with intention and purpose. She is not easily deceived by appearances or swayed by popular opinion. She trusts her intuition, that inner voice that has guided her through both calm and storm. She knows that not every opportunity is meant for her, Not every invitation deserves a yes, and not every person who enters her life is meant to stay. She is discerning, taking the time to evaluate situations and people before giving them access to her heart or her energy. She does not rush into decisions, but allows herself the space to reflect, to listen, and to wait for the right moment. She understands that timing is everything, and that patience often brings greater rewards than haste ever could. Her wisdom is evident in the way she speaks, the way she moves, and the way she makes choices. She does not waste her energy on trivial matters or get caught up in meaningless distractions. She has learned that not every battle is worth fighting, and not every opinion requires a response. She chooses her words carefully, knowing that true power often lies in silence, in the ability to listen more than she speaks, and in the restraint to walk away from situations that do not serve her. She does not feel compelled to explain herself to those who are committed to misunderstanding her, nor does she engage in pointless debates to prove a point. She allows her actions to speak on her behalf, confident that her integrity will shine through in the end. She is selective about the company she keeps, understanding that the people around her have the power to shape her journey. She does not entertain negativity or keep people in her life simply for the sake of companionship. She values quality over quantity, choosing to invest her time and energy in relationships that are uplifting, supportive, and aligned with her values. She is not afraid to walk alone if necessary, knowing that solitude is often the place where clarity and inspiration are found. She is comfortable in her own presence, using quiet moments to reflect, to recharge, and to reconnect with her purpose. She has learned from her past, using every experience as a stepping stone to greater wisdom. She does not dwell in regret or allow herself to be defined by her mistakes. Instead, she treats every lesson as valuable, ensuring that she evolves from each experience. She is not afraid to reflect on her past, not to wallow in what was, but to ensure she does not repeat the same patterns. She understands that wisdom is shaped through experience, and she views her past as a teacher, not a burden. She is willing to face her shadows, to confront her fears, and to do the inner work required for true growth. She does not let emotions dictate her choices. She knows that feelings are fleeting, but decisions have lasting effects. She gives herself the space to think, to evaluate, and to make informed decisions with a clear mind. She does not make life-altering choices when she is angry, sad, or overwhelmed. Instead, she waits for the storm to pass, trusting that clarity will come with time. She understands that wisdom is not just about knowing what to do, but about knowing when to do it. She is not led by the crowd, nor does she follow trends or popular opinions just for the sake of fitting in. She makes choices based on her values, her intuition, and her sense of purpose, even if it means standing alone. She is strong enough to be different, to go against the grain, and to forge her own path. She is confident in her direction, even when others do not understand it. Her wisdom is both a shield and a guide, protecting her from harm and steering her toward the right opportunities. It enables her to walk through life with clarity and resilience, never losing sight of who she is or what she stands for. Her wisdom is not something that can be taken from her, nor does it diminish with time. It is an integral part of who she is, deeply rooted within her, shaping her into the remarkable woman she was always meant to be. She carries a strong sense of purpose that directs every step she takes. She does not drift through life without direction, nor does she allow the opinions of others to determine her path. She knows she was created for something meaningful, something that cannot be shaken by temporary difficulties. This sense of purpose is what drives her forward, even when the journey is challenging. It is what gives her the strength to stand tall when others expect her to fall. Her purpose is not defined by external validation. She does not seek approval from the world, nor does she measure her worth by the recognition she receives. She understands that purpose is not about applause, fame, or admiration. It is about fulfilling the calling placed within her soul, whether the world acknowledges her or not. She remains unwavering whether she is praised or criticized. She does not waste time on things that do not serve her mission. She is focused, disciplined, and intentional. She understands that every decision she makes either brings her closer to her purpose or pulls her away from it. She does not engage in distractions that steal her focus. She values her time because she knows it is precious. She is committed to her journey and refuses to let anything deter her. She is resilient in the face of challenges, knowing that walking in purpose is not always easy. She understands that obstacles and struggles are part of the path, but she does not let difficulties break her spirit. She rises every time she falls, learning from every setback. She does not quit when things get tough. She adapts, she grows, and she continues moving forward. She does not rush, nor does she panic when things do not go as planned. She trusts that everything is happening at the right time. She is patient, knowing that purpose is not a final destination, but a continuous journey. She does not compare herself to others because she understands her path is unique. She inspires those around her, often without realizing it. Her strength, discipline, and focus naturally set her apart. She does not need to announce her purpose. The way she carries herself makes it evident. She trusts her instincts, never waiting for permission before taking action. She knows that her intuition is a gift, guiding her in the right direction. She is relentless, no matter what obstacles arise. She keeps going, never settling for less than what she was created for. She does not shrink herself to fit spaces that were never meant for her. She knows she was born for this, chosen for this, and nothing can take that away. Her faith is her anchor, the force that keeps her steady when everything around her feels unstable. It is what grants her peace in times of uncertainty and fuels her determination when the road ahead looks impossible. She moves forward with courage, knowing she is aligned with something far greater than herself. She is not arrogant, but assured, deeply and unwaveringly believing that she is guided, protected, and strengthened beyond what the eye can perceive. She understands that no matter how many times she stumbles, she will always rise. No matter how tough life becomes, she will never be abandoned. She knows that her journey is not just about her own fulfillment, but about the lives she is meant to impact. She carries the weight of responsibility with grace, knowing that her voice, her gifts, and her presence are all meant to serve a higher calling. She is not just existing, she is living with the intention to make a difference. She is a living example of what it means to walk in wisdom, to live with discernment, and to move through the world with unshakable faith. She is a beacon for others, a reminder that greatness is not about perfection, but about perseverance, purpose, and the courage to keep going no matter what. She is a woman who knows who she is, what she stands for, and where she is headed, and she will not be stopped by anything that stands in her way. She is a woman who understands that her journey is not just about her own fulfillment, but about the impact she is meant to have on the world around her. She recognizes that her gifts, her voice, and her presence are not accidents but intentional tools given to her for a higher purpose. She does not take her influence lightly, nor does she shy away from the responsibility that comes with being chosen. She knows that every action, every word, and every decision has the potential to ripple outward, touching lives in ways she may never fully see or understand. She moves through life with a sense of mission, aware that she is called to be a light in dark places, a source of hope for those who are struggling, and a living example of what it means to walk in faith and purpose. She is deeply aware of the power of her words. She chooses them carefully, understanding that what she says can either build up or tear down, inspire or discourage, heal or wound. She speaks with intention, using her voice to encourage, uplift, and empower those around her. She does not waste her breath on gossip, negativity, or idle complaints. Instead, she speaks life into every situation, offering wisdom, comfort, and guidance to those who seek her counsel. She knows that her words carry weight, and she uses them to plant seeds of hope, courage, and resilience in the hearts of others. She is a woman who leads by example, not by force or manipulation. She does not need to control others or demand their loyalty. Her leadership is rooted in authenticity, humility, and service. She is willing to do the hard work, to make sacrifices, and to put the needs of others before her own when necessary. She is not afraid to get her hands dirty, to step into the trenches, and to walk alongside those she is called to serve. She understands that true leadership is not about titles or positions, but about influence, character, and the willingness to serve with a genuine heart. She is generous with her time, her resources, and her love. She gives freely, not out of obligation or a desire for recognition, but because she understands that she is blessed to be a blessing. She looks for opportunities to help, to give, and to make a difference, no matter how small the act may seem. She is quick to offer a listening ear, a helping hand, or a word of encouragement to those in need. She does not keep score or expect anything in return. Her generosity flows from a heart that is full, a spirit that is grateful, and a soul that is anchored in purpose. She is a woman of integrity, unwavering in her commitment to do what is right, even when it is difficult or unpopular. She does not compromise her values for the sake of convenience or acceptance. She stands firm in her convictions, holding herself to a high standard of honesty, accountability, and ethical behavior. She is trustworthy, dependable, and consistent, earning the respect and admiration of those around her. She understands that her reputation is built not on grand gestures, but on the small, everyday choices she makes when no one is watching. She is resilient in the face of adversity, refusing to let setbacks or disappointments define her. She understands that challenges are a part of life and that every obstacle is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. She does not give up when things get tough. Instead, she digs deep, drawing on her inner strength and faith to persevere. She is not afraid to start over, to try again, or to reinvent herself when necessary. She views failure not as a defeat, but as a stepping stone on the path to success. She is a woman who values growth and learning. She is always seeking to expand her knowledge, to develop new skills, and to become a better version of herself. She is open to feedback, willing to admit when she is wrong, and eager to learn from her mistakes. She does not see herself as a finished product, but as a work in progress, constantly evolving and striving for excellence. She surrounds herself with people who challenge her, inspire her, and encourage her to reach her full potential. She is humble enough to ask for help when she needs it and wise enough to listen to the counsel of those she trusts. She is not afraid to stand alone if it means standing for what is right. She does not compromise her beliefs to fit in or go along with the crowd. She is willing to be misunderstood, criticized, or even rejected if it means staying true to her values. She understands that popularity is fleeting, but character endures. She is willing to walk away from relationships, opportunities, or environments that do not align with her purpose. She is selective about where she invests her time, her energy, and her heart, knowing that not every invitation is meant to be accepted and not every path is meant to be followed. She is a woman who practices gratitude, finding reasons to be thankful even in the midst of difficulty. She does not take her blessings for granted, nor does she focus on what she lacks. She chooses to see the good in every situation, to celebrate progress rather than perfection, and to find joy in the journey. She is quick to express appreciation, to acknowledge the contributions of others, and to give credit where it is due. Her gratitude is not dependent on her circumstances, but is a reflection of her perspective and her faith. She is mindful of her well, being understanding that she cannot pour from an empty cup. She prioritizes self-care, making time for rest, reflection, and renewal. She listens to her body, honors her emotions, and gives herself permission to slow down when needed. She is not afraid to set boundaries, to say no, or to ask for help. She understands that taking care of herself is not selfish, but necessary in order to fulfill her purpose and serve others effectively. She is a woman who forgives, releasing bitterness, resentment, and anger so that she can move forward in freedom. She understands that forgiveness is not about excusing the actions of others, but about choosing to let go of the pain and reclaim her power. She is willing to have difficult conversations, to seek reconciliation when possible, and to extend grace to those who have wronged her. She does not hold grudges or allow past hurts to dictate her future. She chooses to heal, to grow, and to love in spite of the wounds she has endured. She is a source of inspiration to those around her, not because she is perfect, but because she is real. She is honest about her struggles, transparent about her journey, and willing to share her story in the hope that it will encourage others. She does not pretend to have all the answers or to be immune to pain. Instead, she embraces her humanity, allowing her vulnerability to become a bridge that connects her to others. She is a reminder that strength and softness can coexist, that courage and compassion are not mutually exclusive, and that true beauty is found in authenticity. She is a woman who dreams big, setting goals that stretch her and pursuing them with passion and determination. She is not afraid to take risks, to step out of her comfort zone, or to chase after the desires of her heart. She believes in her ability to create change, to overcome obstacles, and to achieve greatness. She is not limited by her circumstances, her past, or the expectations of others. She is driven by a vision for her life that is bigger than herself, a vision that inspires her to keep moving forward. No matter what challenges arise, she is a woman of faith, trusting that she is guided, protected, and provided for by a power greater than herself. She does not rely solely on her own strength or understanding, but seeks wisdom, guidance, and direction through prayer, meditation, or quiet reflection. She is open to the possibilities that exist beyond what she can see, believing that miracles can happen and that doors can open in unexpected ways. She is anchored in hope, refusing to give in to fear, doubt, or despair. She is a woman who celebrates the success of others, lifting them up and cheering them on without jealousy or competition. She believes that there is enough room for everyone to shine and that another person's light does not diminish her own. She is generous with her praise, quick to offer encouragement, and eager to support the dreams of those around her. She is a builder, not a breaker, a collaborator, not a competitor. She is a woman who lives with intention, purpose, and passion. She is not content to simply exist or go through the motions. She is committed to making a difference, to leaving a legacy, and to using her life as a force for good. She is a living testament to the power of faith, resilience, and love. She is a woman who is chosen, set apart, and destined for greatness, not because of what she has, but because of who she is and the impact she makes on the world around her.